I am back again with another tag video. So today I'm doing the Netflix book tag and I'm super excited. I love Netflix. Too much actually. I could spend like all day long watching Netflix. It's a problem. Question number 1, recently watched the last book you finished reading. So the last book that I finished reading was this one, which is Crazy Rich Asians, and this is by Kevin Kwan. This book is about a girl named Rachel who is a professor, and she is dating her boyfriend Nick, who decides to bring her to meet his Chinese family in Singapore. And she is unaware that Nick is incredibly wealthy. His family is, well, they're kind of snobby, to be honest, and it's just kind of her struggles about trying to fit in with the family. Number 2, top picks. A book or books that have been recommended to you based on a book that you have previously read. This isn't necessarily based on a book that I have previously read, but my very good friend Rhonda, who is the librarian for the high school, like our local high school, she actually bought this book for me. I was a part of the book club there because I was the young adult librarian for the public library, and we like to kind of connect. And so I would always go to their kids' local book clubs. It was so much fun. And she does a great job running her book club. Anyways, she gave me this one, The Hate You Give, and this is by Angie Thomas, and I have to get to this ASAP. This book is about a girl named Star Carter, and she is African American, and she goes to an all-white, kind of a prestigious private school. And it's kind of about the juxtaposition between seeing all of these wealthy Caucasian kids and balancing that between her life and her friends and her family and kind of growing up in a more poor neighborhood. And it's about her trying to figure out exactly where she fits in, and her childhood best friend is shot by a police officer. This sounds like a really heavy, awesome book, and I am very excited to read it. I know I'll probably cry, so I've been putting it off for a little bit, but I'm excited. Question number 3, recently added the last book you bought. The last books that I bought were actually this, and this is the Mistborn series, which I have been so excited to pick up and read for like the longest time. Oh my gosh. I wish that I could tell you a really great synopsis, but I don't really know a lot going into it, to be honest. I know that this is incredibly hyped on BookTube, and I know that the covers are pretty. What if the Dark Lord won? That accent is for free. Question number 4, popular on Netflix, books that everybody knows about that you've read and that you haven't read. Book that I have read that everybody has kind of read on YouTube, The Diviners by Libba Bray. This is a super hyped up book, and it's hyped up with good reason. It's really great. This is about a girl named Evie who is shipped off basically to live with her uncle in New York. He runs an occult museum in the 1920s. Basically, the occult shop and her uncle and herself, they all get involved in solving these crime murder mysteries involving evil spirits and ghosts. This is a very dark book. It's a lot scarier than I thought, but this is great, and I really highly recommend this book. I know it's kind of a little bit of a chunker, but I mean, it's like definitely worth it. The next book that I am desperate to start reading but I haven't read, that is incredibly overhyped on BookTube or hyped up, is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. All I know is that it's about a band of misfits basically who come together to do a heist. Question number 5, comedies, a funny book. Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. I highly recommend this. It's a graphic novel. It's hilarious. It's young adult. And everyone I know who has read this has literally laughed out loud. I mean, when I was reading this, I like spit out my coffee because I was laughing so hard. It's so funny. It's basically about Nimona, who has the ability to change into any form or shape, and she is the sidekick to this guy here. His name is Lord Blackheart, and he's supposed to be the villain, but he's actually not too much of a villain. I highly recommend it. Number 6, drama, a character who is a drama queen or king. Prince Cardan from The Cruel Prince. Not only is he a cruel prince, he is a dramatic prince, and he is too much, let me tell you. This book is about a girl named Jude and her twin sister and her stepsister. Jude's parents were brutally murdered by a fairy right in front of her eyes when she was young, and then the fairy kidnaps all of them, and they all live in fairy world held captive. Naturally, you would think that Jude would want to rebel against this, but no, she wants to be accepted as the Fae. This is the only place that she's ever lived. It kind of makes sense if that's really the only thing that she's ever known. It's a little unfortunate because you want Jude to like fight back and leave because these people are But anywho, it's a very good book, and she meets the cruel prince. She grows up with the cruel prince, who is a jerk to her the whole time. And that's about it. It's got some issues, but I mean, it's still really good. Number 7, animated, a book with cartoons on the cover. I Hate Fairyland, and this is by Scotty Young, and how amazing is that? Very, very graphic. I'm not like big into the graphic for violence and things like that. So some scenes were a little hard to stomach, but I mean, they're all drawn in these like light, fluffy pastel colors, so it's like the juxtaposition is hilarious in itself, so it's okay. It's about a little girl who wants to go to fairyland, and she falls through the floor of her bedroom and plops down into fairyland. To get back to her home, she has to complete all of these tasks. Well, years and years pass, and she is like a 40-year-old woman, but stuck in her childlike body. She can't get home, and all of a sudden she just becomes this demented thing that is out to destroy fairyland. It's funny, it's clever, it's original, and the illustrations are the best part of this entire thing. Question number 8, watch it again. A book or book series that you want to reread. The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. Oh God, Follett. So I read this book back when I was 16, and it changed my entire life. I loved it so much. I think I reread it back when I was 18 and then 21. I'm actually in the midst of rereading it now. This is beautiful, and it's not just about one character, it's about a cast of characters. It centers around a cathedral being built. It's this epic journey of the human existence, and of love and loss and pain and growth and everything amazing about humanity and everything despicable about humanity, and I recommend it to everyone. It's such a beautiful book. Number 9, a nonfiction book that you would recommend to everyone. This was super easy for me to choose. This is David Sedaris's Me Talk Pretty One Day. This is an essay collection written by David Sedaris based on things in his life. It's so funny. I highly recommend it if you want to laugh. It's my favorite nonfiction book by far. Question number 10, action and adventure, an action-packed book. And for this one, I chose Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. This was an excellent book. I read the entire series in the span of maybe 2 weeks. Great, very, very gripping, high fantasy, fast-paced, lots of political intrigue, high fantasy. It's about basically all of these different kingdoms in this place called Mythica, and they are all fighting for power. And there's 3 specific ones, Limeros, Palasia, and Aurelios. Each one has different characters, and eventually all of them end up entwined with each other. All of their destinies and lives are kind of connected. And the very last question, number 11, new releases, a book that just came out or will be coming out soon that you can't wait to read. So Man Shanani came out with book number 4 for The School of Good and Evil, and I am very, very, very excited. This is book 3. I thought this was the last one because it says the last ever after. Apparently, it's not. If you are not familiar, the very first book, it's about 2 little girls, Agatha and Sophie, who are best friends. Sophie is this beautiful blonde little girl, and Agatha is this really kind of an outcast brunette little girl. Sophie really wants to be whisked away to the School of Good and Evil, and Agatha does not want her to go. Agatha and her are best friends. But they are both whisked away by the schoolmaster to the School of Good and Evil, and Sophie thinks that she is going to go to the School of Good and learn how to be a princess, and Agatha is supposed to go to the School of Bad and learn how to be evil, but it's flipped, and Sophie goes to the evil school and Agatha goes to the School of Good, and it's really good. Some feminist undertones, very strong female friendships in there, very strong friendships in general, lots of magic, very unique, great idea, and the series is really, really great and actually very, very addicting. Okay, you guys, that is it for this book tag. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done this book tag, I think it's a couple years old, but if you haven't done it, please, you tagged. Until next time, keep your head in the clouds and your heart in a book. Bye!